everybody. This is Wendy Ponomarenko. I'm the art teacher and librarian at Temple Emanu-El. It being Shavuot, I have a special Shavuot story for us. It's called A Mountain of Blintzes by Barbara Diamond Goldin. There's not that many Shavuot stories in the library, especially in the kids section. This is the only one that actually just has a story, like a fictional story that takes place at Shavuot. Hope you enjoy. Here's A Mountain of Blintzes, a Shavuot story. All year long, Sarah and Max worked hard. They fed the chickens, chopped the wood, planted the fields, and took in boarders to earn some extra money. Their children helped too, but no matter what, Sarah and Max never seemed to have enough. It was Mo, Sarah's oldest, who reminded her when Shavuot was but 2 weeks away. He was learning about it in Hebrew school. "Such an important holiday," said Sarah. "When Moses went to the top of the mountain to meet God and receive the laws, such a meeting! Can you imagine? What a celebration we could have! What a mountain of blintzes I could make, if only there was a little extra to spare." Sarah could just picture a big plate of stuffed pancakes. "I'll have to come up with a plan," she said. Early the next day, Sarah thought of it. "Maxie," she called, "I've been thinking about blintzes." "You do make the best," he said wistfully. "Not without buying the ingredients," Sarah said. Then she turned her purse inside out and shook it. Not a penny fell out. "But don't worry, I have a plan. You and I will do extra work." "Extra? Who has time for extra?" Max repeated. "It's only for 2 weeks," said Sarah. "Mr. Epstein needs help building those new bungalows, and Mrs. Grossinger wants help with the washing. We'll put our earnings in the coin box every day," Sarah continued, "and soon we'll have enough for the blintzes. You agree?" Max shrugged. Did he have a choice? "The Torah is sweet, blintzes are sweet," Sarah sang that afternoon as she washed Mrs. Grossinger's sheets. She winked at Nady. "We'll have some blintzes to make, and soon." "Blintzes, blintzes, mountain of blintzes," Nady chanted. "Oh, what a boy! You remembered! A mountain of blintzes to make us think of the mountain Moses climbed. Up and down he went to bring us the Torah, the laws." Sarah looked around. "So, new, Nady. Where are the others? Should be home from school by now." "Mo! Mo!" Sarah shouted in the yard and all the way to the woods. "Come help hang the laundry! Mo!" There was no answer. "Bessie!" Sarah called. "Francie! Harry! Where are you?" Still no answer. "No! Where is everybody? Just when I need help, the children disappear." Later, after Sarah had collected her coins from Mrs. Grossinger, she stood all alone in the kitchen. Mo had finally come home and was doing his chores, with Nady tagging along. Who knew where the others were? "If they aren't home soon, they'll be doing their chores in the dark," Sarah grumbled. Sarah was just about to drop her coins in the box when a brilliant idea hit her. "With Max putting in his money, there will certainly be enough for blintzes," she thought. "He has more to spare than I do. I have to buy so many things. There's candles for the holiday and material to make the children's new summer clothes." So Sarah, very pleased with herself, put her coins in her purse instead, so that she could use her money to buy for her family. Max was heading home from Mr. Epstein's. The coins he had earned painting the bungalows jingled in his pocket. He waved to Mrs. Katz, who was taking the cakes out of her bakery windows. Then he stopped in Mr. Fitzgerald's grocery to ask if he needed any more eggs to sell. Up the hill and down the road, past the dairy and the Friedman's house, and Max was home. Max waved to Sarah, who was outside helping Mo stack wood for the stove. "What a wise wife I have," he said to himself as he went inside to put his coins in the box. Max could almost smell those tasty blintzes, but he hesitated for a minute, and was struck by the idea such a genius would have. "With Sarah putting in her coins, we will surely have enough for the blintzes," he thought. "Sarah has much more to spare than I do. I have to buy wine for the holiday, and all the children need new clothes." So Max, very pleased with himself, put his coins back in his pocket and went outside to help stack wood, planning to buy things for the kids with his money. Every day the same thing happened. Sarah stood by the box ready to drop her coins in the slot, but then she thought of all the things she needed. She thought of Max dropping his coins in, and each day she put her coins in her purse instead. And each day when Max stood by the box, he thought of all the things he needed to buy, and he imagined Sarah putting her coins in, and each day he dropped his coins back in his pocket. After supper one day, Sarah made the announcement, "It's time to open the coin box." Mo, Bessie, Francie, Harry, Nadie, and Max ran over to the counter where the box stood. Max had a dreamy look, as if Sarah opened the box, a mountain of blintzes would cascade out, already cooked and sprinkled with sugar, ready to eat. Never had the house been so quiet. Sarah reached into her pocket for the key. Then she opened the lid and gasped. Max looked in and gasped too. How could it be? "Not a penny," said Mo. "You didn't put in any coins?" Sarah said, turning to Max. "Not even one?" "And where are your coins?" Max replied. "Even one." "I needed them," Sarah said. "I thought that with your coins we'd have enough for blintzes." "And I needed mine," said Max. "I thought with your coins we would have enough." Mo coughed. Harry shuffled his feet. Bessie and Francie giggled. "Giggles?" said Max sternly. "This is no time for giggling." "They're up to something," said Sarah. You remember how we've been so late coming home after school?" asked Bessie. "I remember," said Sarah, "while Papa and I were doing extra." "We were doing extra too," said Harry. "I helped Mr. Fitzgerald in his grocery for a sack of sugar," said Francie. "Mrs. Katz gave me a bag of her very best flour for sweeping her bakery," said Bessie. "I promised to pick berries for Mrs. Friedman this summer," added Harry, "and she gave me 3 jars of her jam." "And I worked in Mr. Townsend's dairy, and he's going to give me all the cottage cheese and sour cream we need," said Mo. Sarah clapped. "Then we'll have our blintzes after all. See what smart children we have, Maxie." "Just like their parents," Max beamed. "Nadie help?" said Nadie. "You'll help us make and eat the blintzes," said Sarah, and gave him a hug. When Shavuot came, they had a mountain of blintzes with a mountain of other good things, candles and wine, not to mention new clothes and new shoes for the children. And Nadie helped, spreading jam on all the blintzes and on his face and fingers too. Happy Shavuot. The end. Now, this particular story has a very kind of iconic old Americana kind of feeling about it. It takes place in the 1920s, kind of in the Catskills, so like rural New York area. But the original story for this is actually from the 1880s and takes place in Eastern Europe. So Barbara Diamond Goldin, she made it an American story when she adapted it, but it was originally a Yiddish story taking place in a shtetl in Eastern Europe. So yeah, this is another one of our kind of folk stories that get retold over time. And this being a Shavuot one, I ended the week of our folk stories with a Shavuot folk story. So hope you enjoy, and happy Shavuot.